Hey, it's Webs here, and it's time to conjure up some rations for our journey across the seas. So with the set just around the corner, I've been kind of struggling with coming up with decks to actually post. But with that being said, I still have some final tricks up my sleeves to finish off this set, and one of those is Mr. Smite Mage. I know what you all might be thinking. Mr. Smite is not a fun card, and he really isn't. He's a broken card that everyone and their mother is currently using in the current Hearthstone meta, but you gotta hand me some credit when credit's due. I'm using him in the one class that most people will expect him the least in, aka Mage, and this is a really funny combo deck I wanted to share with y'all. For the Mulligan guide, you always want to keep Encanter's Flow in your opening hand, just so you can actually get some discounts on the Potion of Illusions. You never want to keep the Potions of Illusion in your opening hand, because you want to try to make sure you can at least discount them by 1 or 2. And for other cards that you want to keep in your opening hand, the early game removals are really good to keep in your opening hand against a minion based deck. However, if it isn't a minion based deck, then you probably are going to be looking for cards like Lab Partner or Primordial Studies to keep in your opening hand, along with Mana Biscuit, because as long as you don't play that many minions on the board and their questline Mage, for example, then they can't actually finish their questline while you just gather up all the pieces for your win condition. The cards that you don't want to keep in your opening hand are South Seas Captain, Multicaster, Potion of Illusion, or Mr. Smite. These are your combo pieces, however you just don't need them in your opening hand. You rather have other cards in your opening hand that actually do something on the board or draw you additional cards. Fire Cell just depends on if it's a minion base matchup or not. If it isn't, then you don't really want to keep this in your opening hand, but it isn't the worst thing to keep in your hand just because of the fact that you can trade it away. But with that being said, let's get into some games. Alright, time for a game against Priest. Going to mulligan away the Captain and the Ice Barrier. Going to trade in the Fire Cell, grabbing a Encanter's Flow. That's actually really good. Going to just play the Conjuring Biscuit and the Encanter's Flow. We actually don't have that bad of a hand right now. We get the second Encanter's Flow, we're actually in a really good position. That isn't it. We did not want to see the potion yet. Grabbing the Studies, grabbing the Wildfire. What type of priest deck is this? Is it just control? It has to just be control, right? I'm gonna draw 2. I'm gonna get a Biscuit. Okay, Light Shower Elemental. Deep Water Invoker. So I ended up cutting out the Deep Water Invokers just because I didn't want additional minions and I wanted additional ways to actually deal with my opponent's shit. So I'm assuming they're probably either control or death rattle at this point. Cram Session, that's actually pretty good, especially given the fact that we have 2 lab assistants, or partners, I mean. Fire Cell, which does nothing. Trying to make sure I don't burn any cards here. Burst Flame, that actually does us a lot. And Encanter's Flow. I'm going to grab the Guild Trader, just because I can trade it in if I don't actually want it. I'm shocked that they didn't make a legendary that made all cards in your deck tradable for this set. That was probably my biggest disappointment of United in Stormwind. I'm going to play the Encanter's Flow, draw 3, Multicaster, Primal Studies, Wand Thief, and then we're just going to super buff up our freeze and grab a 3rd lab partner. Sneed, that's a shock. So maybe N'Zoth Priest? I'm assuming they also probably have Vander in the deck. I just haven't seen it. Okay, so we have a Captain. I should have played the first lab partner there. Oh well. Smite, okay, and the other Captain. We do have full combo at this point. Astromancer, another cut card from the deck. But look at all the pretty spell damage effect that we have. They're going to nuke our board, I guess, or almost. Okay, so that is kind of annoying. We're just going to clear out the board here a little bit and play the Multicaster. Ruined Orb, not bad. And the second potion, actually pretty good there. And the Prime, that's actually even better. Alright, we're fine with them doing that. I'm still curious if they're quests, or not even questline, control or death rattle. Milling the fire cell is fine. Trying to do the math here to see if we have enough mana for this turn or not. Getting the ignite, which is actually pretty good. Now the question is, are they going to try to kill our captains or not? I guess not, which is fine. Actually, preferably what we wanted them to do, actually. Oh, they might be able to get one captain here, though. Elric. That's kind of a funny card to actually choose. So we get to play our 2 captains. Our Mr. Smite. Our potions. And go full combo for once. Look at all those 1/1 pirates that were now 6/6 pirates. Alright, time for a game against Demon Hunter. Boss that we haven't actually seen in a little bit. I'm going to keep everything in the open hand just because it's actually not that bad of a start. I'm going to use the Primal Mark, get the lab partner. So that doesn't answer our question of what it is. They're not questline for sure. Big demon hunter probably, I guess. Ah, so they're fell demon hunter. That's the only solution that they could be. I'm gonna play the lab partner, then play the ruined orb, grabbing the arcane intellect just so we can draw more cards. I guess they randomly generated that off of a card. Not a bad solution for what we had on board though. Gonna grab the Solarian and then play the biscuits. Trying to the second potion, which is actually pretty bad at this point. Gonna draw more cards and then just ping face. Gonna play the ice barrier, draw more cards. Now, this deck does seem to have a problem when your opponent doesn't have anything to play. You're gonna have to start triggering your own spells on your own minions. Lab partner's not bad here, just because it lets us deal with the Mr. Smite. Though I'm curious why they're just running Smite in Fell Demon Hunter, but at the same time, I'm not going to question it. Solarium Prime, that's kind of funny. We can play the multicaster draw like 3. A captain, fire cell, and okay, yep. This hand, of course, fire cell into fire cell. Like that doesn't always happen. Okay, so that might normally be a problem if we didn't have the Solarium Prime. A Grand Finale is actually a really good card to get there. Okay, Fell Summoners. Are they thinking I'm going to attack into them? 'Cause I have news for you. I have Mr. Smite, and I have no reason to attack into your minions. Alright, time for a game against Mage. Gonna mulligan away the Captain and the Fire Cell, and the Cram Lesson. Now this is a much better starting out hand. Though Ice Barrier is kinda useless in this matchup depending on what type of mage it is. The quest line, that isn't really that big of a shock, but at the same time, it did get nerfed, so I'm running into it a lot less now than I used to be. I really wish that portal would have been a counterspell instead of a portal, but oh well. They're just going to ignite us, I guess. Let's just put down the portal. So their quest line, hero power, I guess. That's actually not a bad minion to get, though devolving missiles kind of sucks. And actually this game gave me the idea of including a devolving missiles over, I think it was the Wand Thieves. I'm going to play the Ice Barrier and then play the Solarian. Cantor's Flow, which is bad news for us, but oh well. They're going to kill the Prime, which is fine. Now we have 2 multicasters. Arcane Intellect doesn't require us to have anything. It's going to use the Biscuits. Gonna place down the multicaster, get 2 cards here, I think. Drawing into the prime, which is pretty good. I'm curious of how that list actually looks. Because why include that card over a multicaster, which can actually draw you quite a few cards out of your deck because you're mage? Ice Barrier should not be a shock. Gonna first flame their minion, then draw 3. Hoping to grab something here that we can actually play, but I guess not. Gonna biscuit out the Phoenix, and then shuffle into our deck a Fire Cell and drawing into Mistress Might. Flame Strike. Maybe they're big spell mage with questline attached into it, but I don't... Deep Water Invoker. Drawing a Cram Session. Shuffle the Fire Cell in. Get the second Invoker. Here I'm realizing I have too much draw power in the deck, because there is something known as too much draw power if you can't play half of the cards in your hand. We're going to play Deep Freeze, so they have to be big spell questline. But I don't understand why you would combine those two decks. There's no big spell that does damage currently in the game, I don't think. Oh, Mask of Cthulhu, I guess, but let's see what we get off of this. We literally just whiffed. Like, we could have not whiffed there any harder. I guess we did get a 8-8 out of it, but seriously, we basically just whiffed. At least we can kill one. Oh, actually, we can kill both of the 3 6s. So they completed their quest line, which is kind of scary, but we do have Potion of Illusion to try to get more primes, I guess. We can just hit face, play the additional 1/1s, attack again, see what we get here. Now, Deck of Lunacy is not something that we want to see. The Potion of Illusion is really funny though, and then we do kill their 7/7. Well, we can play another prime, which kills a bunch of our minions, which sucks, but oh well. I guess this is the end of the line for when it comes to playable cards. I'm going to grab the Mask of Cthulhu. Funnily enough, if they don't play any minions, we actually win next turn with the Mask of Cthulhu and the 3/1/1s in our hand, which is actually kind of funny. Yeah, go for it. Kill all of our minions. We still have lethal. Well, the fact that they're going to draw into a bunch of cards here, though they did only play one Incanter's Flow, so they shouldn't be able to get anything, and we win. Alright, now that we're through some games, let's discuss how well the deck did and why I built the deck the way I did. So, I'm just going to start off with the bad news. This deck is probably one of the decks that I would recommend the least actually crafting. Sure, you can actually pull off the combo pretty well here and there. However, it is a slow combo in the current meta game of standard Hearthstone. I think this combo would actually do a lot better maybe a few sets ago. But because of Questline Warrior existing, along with some other aggro-based decks existing, this isn't the best deck in the world to actually play. The main fault of the deck is probably the fact that I didn't include any type of alternate win condition in the deck. There are times where you can randomly generate a prime, and then that can be your alternate win condition through the potions. However, I think including Ignite over the Ruined Orbs would have actually done a lot of work in the deck, just so you had some other way to actually win besides relying on the weird wacky combo. But it was a fun deck to actually test out and play, and that's why I wanted to actually upload it. So the deck actually went through quite a few iterations before I came to this version of the deck. Originally I had not included many spells just because I wanted to draw into Potion of Illusion as quickly as possible. However, Potion of Illusion doesn't actually do you anything by itself, so that idea was scrapped. I then went with the idea of including a Murasaki OTK package into the deck without the Murasaki, and this ended up being close to what I finalized with the deck. However, I do wish I had placed Ignites over the Ruined Orbs just so I had a alternate win condition besides the combo. Third version of the deck that I didn't test out was a hero power version of the deck, just so you had an additional thing to actually copy out with Potion of Illusion. If you have some time, you could actually try to test that one out. I don't know how consistent that's going to be, but it does give you another win condition, which is the main issue with this deck, and it might actually be better than the one that I actually came up with in the end. Cards that felt awkward in the deck were, of course, the combo pieces, just because of the fact if you had any of the combo pieces by themselves, they kind of were just bricks. Besides Mr. Smite. Mr. Smite you could actually play just by himself. Same with a multicaster. Since multicaster is technically a pirate, you could give it charge with Mr. Smite. That never really came up in any of the games, I don't think, but it is still a possibility. So if you liked watching a weird, wacky Hearthstone deck, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, bye bye.